Welcome back to Skull Radio, take two. We are back on the phone with Gary, original bass and vocals for Propane. So how you doing again tonight, Gary? Sorry about that.
Doing good. Sorry about those technical difficulties, you know. This happens once in a while.
Oh, it's all good. We can, in the future, I can edit these two together. We're radio you can watch. So I'm actually on camera in here, and people are seeing me on camera, so we can Skype we can Skype you in on future interviews if you want. I don't know if Liz told you, but
oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we can get you on screen. We've got a Sunday show here with Craig LaCicero from Forbidden, and he Skypes in different guests every week. So.
Oh, cool.
So
where are you guys based out of anyway?
We're out of St. Louis here, the Midwest, right below Chicago.
All right. It's been a while since we played over there in St. Louis.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. We've got a really good metal scene up here again. It kind of died down for a while, and you didn't hear a lot of metal, and Shirley didn't see a lot of metal. But nowadays we're bringing 300-400 people to shows, getting a good pit going, and good stage diving. It's back.
Yeah, that's great. We had so many great shows over there in St. Louis in the past, you know.
So you were in the middle of before the phone was dying there. We were in the middle of talking about the artwork on Truth Hurts that got banned. So tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, I mean, we had no idea at the time that we, you know, came up with the idea of the artwork that it would be so controversial, I guess. And you know, the record company decided to release a censored version of it, and there were so many fans that ultimately wanted the original artwork that the record company, which was Roadrunner at that time, they contacted me, and they wanted to order like thousands of the original CD booklets because the fans were demanding the original artwork. So it was pretty interesting how things panned out because it was actually a record company decision to ban it in the first place. And then they ended up wanting to order some from me, and I told them no.
Hey, keep it a collector's item, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I mean, I didn't really see that there was anything wrong with the artwork in the first place, and who knows? Maybe they banned it just to create some kind of cheesy demand for it or something. You never know.
Yeah, well, you guys self-produced the album "Act of God," huh?
Yeah, that's about the time we started to self-produce our records. I moved down to Florida at around that time, and that record was actually recorded down here in Sarasota. And we rented out a house, a pretty big place with some nice wood floors and stuff for drum tones, and you know, we kind of you know, shacked up in that place for close to a month, and it was a great place to record an album, and we really you know, sort of mastered our craft at self-production. And quite a few Propane records after that were self-produced. And it's something that I think we, you know, it was kind of a learning process. We just continuously got better at it as time went on and as the records went on.
So you guys were on Nuclear Blast for a while?
Yeah, we released 2 or 3 albums on Nuclear Blast around 2000 to 2003, I think. I think we left Nuclear Blast around 2003.
Cool. Did you?
But a really great label, and really, you know, a lot of those guys over Nuclear Blast we're still pretty close friends with. So, you know, I think they're certainly one of the better metal labels out there.
Yeah, we get boxes of CDs from them all the time to play here on the station, and of course, I know Craig has friends over there at Nuclear Blast that get us on what is it, blabbermouth.net or something for his shows that come on here all the time. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, they do a lot to promote their bands, and a lot of the guys, you know, that are higher up in the chain over there, they're big fans of the music. So they're not just corporate guys or anything. You know, Marcus Steiger remains a big metalhead, and you know, Andy Seary is a really great guy. He's at all the big festivals and stuff. So these guys are fans, and they love the music, and it's nice to see a label like that do so well. Yeah,
they've got quite a few bands I like on there. I've got to interview a few of them, and of course Liz gives us, and Dave over at Earsplit give us lots of bands to interview and talk with, and that's awesome. I just talked for about a half hour with Dora Pesh yesterday.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, she was really cool. We're going up to Chicago to see them, I think, September 9th. Do you guys have any tour plans to follow up with this new 20 years of hardcore CD?
Yeah, we're going to tour. We're going to tour in Europe in October, throughout the entire month of October, and this will be the third tour this year in Europe. So this one mainly focuses on Eastern Europe, and as far as the States are concerned, we plan to do some dates in December. If not a full-scale tour, then certainly some regional stuff. So, fans can stay tuned for those dates.
Yeah, let us know here at Skull Radio, because that's what we do. We'll run you guys free commercials and let the kids know we're nationwide and worldwide, of course, being skullrecordsradio.com. You can watch us. We've got 42 countries watching right now. And
we'll definitely let you guys know. Any promotion certainly helps. And we appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. So what was up with Tom leaving the band? Is everything good with that, or?
Well, everything's good on a personal level. It was a shocker to us, for sure. Tom, ever since joining the band, he's had Crohn's disease, and it forced him out of the band in the 90s for a few years. And there were some new, potentially serious health complications that came about just a few months ago. And upon following up on those complications, his physicians advised him not to go out on the road, and he's got to go through some pretty serious procedures in terms of some surgeries and stuff. That's on his immediate plate. So, it forced him out of the band. And first we thought it might just be a temporary thing, but it looks like it's a permanent decision for him and his family. And we just wish him the best. He's a great guy and an awesome guitar player, and he really, devoted a lot of himself to this band, and it was terrible to hear the news from him, about his departure.
Man, that sucks. So you're actually the last original member from back in the 90s, right?
That's correct. I'm the sole original member.
Keeping it going. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I'm keeping it going, and we just had a lot on our plate. When Tom unfortunately had to exit the band, and Tom was actually part of the decision on whether we should continue or not. And he said, you guys should go for it. There's a lot of good things coming up, and he's actually a friend of Adam Phillips who took his spot, and so we got Tom's endorsement and his blessing on this whole thing, and everything worked out pretty well so far.
Very cool. Yeah, it's nice to know, that he was into it and wanted you guys to continue. I'm sure the fans wanted you to as well, because we've got a lot of people here that dig the hardcore and the metal. We've got a new Tuesday show here where they play a lot of hardcore, punk, thrash, everything on there, and you guys fit right in. So.
Oh, that's cool. Well, any airplay that we can get, especially these days with the music industry being so difficult, any airplay or any promotion really helps us out. It's great to hear that.
Yeah, I think that's why our radio station took off so much, because we're playing the shit nobody else will play. We're playing. Mm-hmm. We've got several big radio stations here in St. Louis, and they'll play metal, but they'll play it on like a Tuesday night at midnight. Where it's tough for the kids to even stay up that late if they have a job.
Right. Well, it's cool that metal and hardcore it seems like it's kind of returned to the underground in certain aspects, and that's where I think it really belongs, and it makes for a stronger scene, I think.
Yeah, we started off. We're only a year old, and we only had 15 listeners our first night, and
really,
yeah, within our first couple of months, we had a couple hundred listeners, and I pay BMI and ASCAP for the rights to play all this stuff, and last month I got a bill for 44,000 listeners in 42 countries. So it's definitely picking up, taking off, the word's getting out, and a lot of people are going to be hearing your stuff through us.
Yeah, that's cool, and I see Skull Radio coming up on Blabbermouth. I check out the news every day to see what's going on in metal and everything, and I guess you could say Blabbermouth is sort of the number one source for underground metalers to go to for their news. And I see Skull Radio coming up. I think you guys just did an interview with Voivod, right?
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, I just was talking with the drummer of Voivod. Yeah, and
yeah, he's a great guy. We did some touring together actually in the '90s, and those guys, great band, and Way is a really cool guy.
Yeah, I just got an interview. We just did Pestilence, which was one of my old favorites, and quite a few bands. I mean, so many. It's tough to remember. We're doing like 4 and 5 in a week now, and then we're going down to that 70 tons of metal. Are you gonna be? You have any plans to ever play on that, or to go just party on there?
We would certainly ponder it. We just haven't been invited. That's the only problem. So I suppose if we were invited, we would definitely give it some thought. You know.
Need to have Liz and Dave give them a call and get you guys on there. I'm gonna be down there again this year. We've got Coroner and a bunch of killer bands. They just announced Tankard's gonna be playing. It's another.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, one of my the old beer metal. You know.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. I heard it was a good event. I know some people that went to the last one. And they said it was great. And 3 of us are down here in Florida, so we would, it might be financially worthwhile to get us on board for this thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You guys would be a good mix for that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Tell us about Absolute Power and a little more about that.
Well, Absolute Power was released 2010, and it's one of our heaviest records, I think, and it features a lot of different styles, a lot of like sort of old school hardcore styles, as well as introducing some more melodic moments of Propane, and it's one of our strongest records, I think. We recorded it in Switzerland, and it was produced by a good friend of ours named V.O. Pulver. He plays with a band called GERD, which is one of the more popular Swiss thrash bands. And everything went really smooth with that record, from the production to the release to the touring season. And again, I think it's one of our strongest albums.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of stuff on all your albums here. We mix it up, and DJ Noise on Tuesday nights, a really big fan of the hardcore stuff. And so if you're ever not busy on a Tuesday night, check it out, and you'll hear some Propane on Skull Radio.
Oh, right on. I will definitely look for that on Tuesday.
And so how did you get Schmier from Destruction on there?
Well, Schmier's an old friend of ours. I actually met him through this guy that I was just talking about, V.O. Pulver. And Schmier lives very close to Switzerland. He's like in the southwest of Germany, near Freiburg. And so when we would play in Freiburg, Schmier would generally come down and hang out and say hello. And we developed a pretty close friendship over the years. And being that we were recording so close, and we had this one sort of old school thrash number on the album, I said, why don't we get Schmier in for some guest vocals? And it was as easy as just making a phone call and, him stopping by. I think he lived only about 35 minutes from the studio. And, he's an old pro, so he did a bang-up job on it, and it didn't take very long to record, and it was a pleasure working with him.
Yeah, that's wicked. I play a lot of Destruction on my Sunday Extreme show.
Yeah, they're an awesome band. It's definitely one of the thrash metal classics.
Yeah, I've been a fan of theirs ever since Mad Butcher and all that stuff, the old...
Yeah, me too.
So, propane.com, is that where a lot of these kids can find your new CD?
Yeah, they can find it on propane.com. It'll be released through AFM Records, so if somebody wanted to buy it online, I suppose they can go through Amazon or CD Universe or one of the general channels that they would go to buy CDs. And look for it in the shops as well.
Sounds good. Sounds easy to find. What's one of your favorite tracks to play live?
To play live, I guess some of the newer stuff. I love playing Destroy the Enemy from Absolute Power, Unrestrained from Absolute Power. Generally, the most recent stuff that we've done is always a bit more fun for me. I don't know whether it's because some of the older ones that we just played it so many times. We still represent those songs really well, I think, on stage, but and they do spark the band in a certain respect. But for me personally, I prefer playing the new stuff.
So out of all the CDs, you've been putting out tapes all the way to CDs now for lots of years. What would be your favorite overall album?
I think I have different favorites for different reasons. I still love Foul Taste of Freedom, and currently we're playing that in its entirety as part of our set list. So I like that for nostalgic reasons, I suppose. I still love the Act of God record. It's one that I think really held up through all these years sonically. And if somebody were to hear that for the first time, they could easily think that it was released yesterday. And I love Absolute Power too. I think it's a real strong record again. And in terms of production, I love Fistful of Hate. I think that's a great sonic record for Propane.
Yeah, I love that album.
Hey, thanks, man.
So any funny stories from all these years of being on tour, being backstage with all these different bands? Any humorous things you could tell us?
Well, there's all kinds of crazy stories, from people falling out of tour buses on the Autobahn to stages collapsing, and nothing tragic like the most recent stage collapse. But there's always general crazy things happening on the road, everything that one could imagine, and then some. And it's never boring out there, that's for sure.
So how do you guys like to do it best? You guys like having a record company, or just producing your own, doing the self-produced thing, or?
Well, it's kind of a mix. I've had my own record label called Rawhead Inc. since the mid '90s, and we basically have been releasing our records through Rawhead Inc. since then, and we just basically license through different partners. Whether it be Nuclear Blast or AFM, which is our latest licensing partner. That's basically how we've been doing it, and it's been a pretty smooth ride for us in terms of our business, for a lot of years now, which is great.
So you do all the engineering yourself, or do you have an engineer?
The engineering is done by different people at different times. When Eric Klinger was in the band, he was the band's engineer. Tom Klimchuk was the band's engineer for quite a while. And now that we've been recording in Switzerland lately, VO has become our latest engineer. I don't do any engineering. I've done a lot of the band's producing, but never any of the engineering. So,
what's some of your favorite basses to play? Do you guys sponsored by anybody, or do you have a favorite?
Yeah, well, we're sponsored by Schecter, but I don't play their basses. The guitar players are sponsored by Schecter. They make some killer guitars. I've tried playing some of their basses, but for me, they're just they're a little light, I guess, because I'm used to playing old school Music Man basses. So and the sound with the Schecters, although great, it's a little bit more of a modern sound than what I was really looking for. So I tend to play old school Music Man basses. I have one that's a 76, and I play another one that's a 1981. And I also have a 5-string that has a Moses graphite replacement neck on it. So I'm a Music Man guy.
Cool. Do you record with the 5-string?
Absolute Power was recorded with the 5-string, yeah, with a graphite neck.
Cool. Well,
and it sounds it's a really mean sounding bass with a lot of low end. It's not the warmest sounding bass, but I think for like hardcore metal, it's actually perfect. And the tuning with the graphite neck is perfect.
So, what's the easiest way for the fans listening to Skull Radio and fans around the world here to get a hold of you guys?
Well, they can get a hold of us through our MySpace or on our Facebook page, or through our website at propane.com. They can reach us anytime. We've always been a pretty accessible band. So if anybody wants to chime in with any questions, or to just say hello, or if they want to see us on tour, just drop us a line.
I'll post part 1 and part 2 of our interview on your Facebook, and they can actually watch this interview on video right there on your wall.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, before we get out of here, is there any way I can get a station ID from you?
Absolutely.
Cool. Just
you ready?
Sounds good. I'll go be quiet and let you do your thing.
Hey, this is Gary from Propane, and you're listening to DJ Skully on Skull Radio.
We really appreciate you taking time out of your day today to come and, talk to us on Skull Radio and help support your stuff. If you ever have any concert tours that you want to announce here or overseas, we're more than happy to do that for you. We even make banners and commercials for free. We're a no charge radio station. It's all out of our own. Awesome. It's all out of our own pocket, and we basically are trying to spread the word of metal and hardcore to these kids and play the stuff that a lot of these stations refuse to play because it's not, super popular as far as they're concerned. I don't think they've seen my numbers, though. I think.
Well, hey, man, Skully, you're doing a great thing, and thank you so much for the interview, and we'll definitely be in touch,
Sounds good. Yeah, let me know anytime you're playing anywhere in the Midwest because we go all around. I'll even be on that 70 Tons of Metal, and we will definitely be there to have a cold beer with you and
sounds good, my friend.
And shake your hand and say for all these years of being in the scene, we really appreciate you sticking with it.
Well, I appreciate it too, man. Thank you very much, and maybe we will see on the 70,000 tons of metal, right? Who knows?
Definitely. I appreciate you calling today, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, Skully. Take care.
Thanks, Gary. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.